Chapter 1: The Haunted Office. The office was cheap. Too cheap. Detective Alex Matthews stood in the middle of the dusty room, clutching the key his landlord had given him and wondering if mold could legally qualify as a tenant. The paint peeled like old scabs. The blinds were crooked, swaying in the draft even though the window was shut. Still, Alex told himself it was all he could afford. Private detectives didn't exactly get showered in money, especially anxious ones who stuttered whenever they had to raise their voice. He set down a box labeled staples and hope on the floor and tried to sound confident. This isn't so bad. Just needs some light. And maybe an exorcism. Did someone say exorcism? Alex shrieked and nearly brained himself on the low ceiling lamp. From behind his desk, no, through his desk, floated a man. Or rather, the translucent outline of one. He was tall, broad-shouldered, with tousled hair and the kind of smirk that said he'd never once paid taxes, alive or dead. Alex backed up until his knees hit the filing cabinet. "Oh my God, oh my God, oh my." "Close," the apparition said cheerfully. "But the name's Gabriel, and this, my jittery new friend, is my office." Alex blinked. Your office? No, this is Matthew's Investigations. Mine. I signed a lease." Gabriel leaned lazily against the desk, his ghostly arm slipping right through the wood. "Oh sure, you've got the paperwork. But I've got seniority. I was a detective here 50 years ago." Alex gawked. A detective? The best, sharp eyes, sharper wit. Solved murders, thefts, even the mayor's missing toupee case. Until, of course, he made a throat-slashing motion. Alex turned pale. You died here?" "Relax, rookie. Not here. Across the street. Hit by a carriage. Tragic. But I looked magnificent going down." Alex clutched the box of staples to his chest like a holy relic. Okay. I'm just hallucinating. Stress. Too much caffeine. Not a ghost. Definitely not a... Gabriel floated closer until their noses nearly touched. "Boo!" Alex screamed again, dropped the box, and papers went flying everywhere. Gabriel grinned like a cat in a birdcage. "Cute. You scare easy. That'll be fun." "Fun? Fun? This is my business. I can't have a spectral squatter haunting the place." "Oh, relax. I'm not unreasonable. I'll let you use my office. For a price." Gabriel stretched, as though bones and muscles still existed. Alex froze. "Price?" Gabriel's grin widened. "Information. Dirt. Gossip." Alex frowned. "On cases?" "No," Gabriel said, as though the very idea offended him. "On you. Specifically, your crush." He leaned in conspiratorially. Alex's face went crimson. I don't have a crush." "Oh, please." Gabriel folded his transparent arms. "The way your ears turned red just now? I was a detective, remember? You're practically a walking case file. You've got someone you pine after, and until you give me the juicy details, I'm not helping you with a single case." "I didn't ask for your help," Alex protested. "Really? You plan to investigate crime scenes while hyperventilating into your tie? I saw how you handled a box of staples." Alex opened his mouth, closed it, then muttered, "That was one time." Gabriel smirked. "So, gossip. Who is it? A barista who draws little hearts on your latte? A rival detective with smoldering eyes? Oh, don't tell me. It's the butcher. You've got a thing for forearms." I don't. This is ridiculous. I'm not feeding a ghost gossip like some paranormal tabloid." Alex sputtered, shoving papers into random drawers. "Then enjoy failing." Gabriel flopped backward into the chair, which creaked even though he wasn't solid. "Because unless I'm entertained, you'll be solving crimes with nothing but your anxiety and a magnifying glass." Alex groaned. "Why me?" "Because you signed the lease. Congratulations, partner," Gabriel said with a wicked smile. Alex stared at him, horrified. "You're blackmailing me into romantic confessions." "Bribing, I prefer the word bribing. Much classier," Gabriel corrected smoothly. For a long moment, Alex just sat there, trembling. Then, very quietly, he whispered, "He has really nice eyes." Gabriel perked up instantly, eyes shining like a gossiping auntie. "Oh, now we're talking." Alex buried his face in his hands. "This is going to be hell." Gabriel chuckled, stretching his translucent legs up onto the desk. "Wrong again, detective. This is going to be fun." Chapter 2, The First Case. The bell above the office door jingled. Alex almost fell off his chair. His very first client had just walked in. She was a frazzled older woman in a fur coat that looked like it had been chewed by moths and survived 3 world wars. She clutched her handbag like a life preserver. "You're the detective?" she asked, peering at Alex through smudged glasses. Alex adjusted his tie 3 times in 5 seconds. "Yes, ma'am. Detective Matthews. Private investigator. At your service." Behind him, Gabriel stretched across the couch, yawning so loudly it rattled the blinds. "And ghost consultant extraordinaire," he added, though only Alex could hear. Alex shot him a glare. "Not now. The client Saturday, my painting's been stolen. Family heirloom. A portrait of my great-grandfather, General Winthrop. Worth quite a lot." Alex nodded, scribbling notes on a pad. Of course, of course. Where was it last seen?" "In my parlor." Gabriel snorted. "Riveting. Really narrows it down." Alex ground his teeth and pretended to cough. The woman dabbed her eyes with a tissue. "The police won't take me seriously. They say I misplaced it. Misplaced a 6-foot canvas. Can you imagine?" Alex leaned forward, awkwardly sincere. "Don't worry, ma'am. I'll find it." 2 hours later, Alex stood in the woman's parlor. It was stuffed with antiques, doilies, and the faint smell of boiled cabbage. The empty frame above the fireplace screamed, "Robbery." Alex carefully examined the mantel. "No fingerprints," he muttered, more to reassure himself than anything. "No forced entry either. Perhaps an inside job." Gabriel floated past him, inspecting the room like a lazy tourist. "Or perhaps burglars have hands." "Shocking, I know." Alex bristled. "You're not helping. I told you, Detective Butterfingers. Payment first." Gabriel leaned against the empty frame, eyes gleaming. "So, tell me something about your mystery crush." Alex flushed instantly. "Not here. Not in front of the crime scene. Exactly here. Confess, and I'll point out what you missed." Gabriel grinned. Alex tugged at his collar. "This is extortion." "Bribery," Gabriel corrected smoothly. Alex groaned. "Fine. He has a really nice smile. The kind that makes you feel like you're the only person in the room." Gabriel perked up, smirk growing. "Adorable. And pathetic. Now watch the master work." He zoomed, literally zoomed, toward the bookcase and phased half his body through it. "Aha! Scratches. Fresh ones." Alex scrambled over, notebook ready. "What scratches?" Gabriel pointed. Sure enough, faint drag marks lined the floor beneath the bookcase. Alex blinked. You mean the thief didn't steal it?" "They hid it here." Gabriel smirked. "Precisely. Too large to sneak out unnoticed." "But look!" He floated to the window. "Curtains askew. The thief planned to return tonight. Grab it once suspicion cooled." Alex's jaw dropped. "That's actually brilliant. I told you, rookie. Best detective in the city. Dead or alive." Gabriel dusted imaginary lint off his ghostly sleeve. That night, Alex set up a clumsy stakeout in the parlor. He sat behind the couch with a thermos of coffee, hands shaking. Do you really think they'll come back?" he whispered. "Of course, criminals are creatures of habit. Also, you're terrible at hiding. You've sneezed 6 times." Gabriel said. Alex glared at him. "I have allergies." "Sure you do." Midnight struck. A faint creak echoed through the house. A shadow slipped inside through the window. The burglar tiptoed straight to the bookcase. Alex's heart pounded. This is it. He leapt out, fumbling his flashlight. "Stop right there." The burglar froze, then bolted. Gabriel sighed and casually floated through the wall. 2 seconds later, the man screamed as books rained down on him, seemingly hurled by an invisible force. Alex gaped. You assaulted him with Dickens. Bleak House is heavy, Gabriel said smugly, reappearing. By the time the police arrived, the thief was tied to a chair with curtain cords, babbling about angry spirits. The client was overjoyed. The painting was saved. Alex tried to accept the praise graciously, though Gabriel kept whispering, "Say you couldn't have done it without me. Say it out loud." Later, back at the office, Alex collapsed into his chair. "I can't believe that worked." Gabriel lounged on the desk, grinning. "Of course it worked. You gave me gossip fuel. High-quality fuel at that." Alex frowned suspiciously. Why do you care so much about my crush anyway?" For a moment, Gabriel's grin faltered. But then he leaned back, smirk returning. "Because, detective, your love life is the only thing more entertaining than watching you trip over crime scenes." Alex groaned, burying his face in his hands. "This partnership is going to kill me." Gabriel laughed softly. "Relax. You'll get used to it. Partners, remember?" Alex peeked through his fingers at the smug ghost, and for the first time, wondered what exactly he'd gotten himself into. Chapter 3, Alleyway Brawl. They are on another mission to find a stolen diamond ring this time. So, they were chasing the man they had most suspected. Alex had a bad feeling about this. The suspect they'd been tailing, a wiry man with a twitchy mustache and a coat 2 sizes too big, had ducked into the worst part of town. Graffiti covered the walls, trash cans rattled with unseen rodents, and a group of rough-looking men lounged near the alley's end, smoking and laughing too loud. "This feels unsafe." Textbook definition of unsafe. Possibly also felony unsafe. Alex muttered, pulling his coat tighter around himself. Gabriel floated beside him, arms crossed, looking perfectly at ease. "Relax, Detective Worrywart. What's the worst that could happen? Getting mugged, beaten up, murdered." "Mugged again," Alex whispered. "Oh, come on. Look at you, you scream harmless puppy. No one murders puppies. They kick them," Alex hissed. Before Gabriel could retort, the suspect darted deeper into the alley. "See? He's right where we want him. Surrounded by criminals. Efficient." Gabriel grinned. Alex groaned. This is not efficient. But he ran anyway, shoes echoing on wet pavement. The suspect noticed, cursed, and shouted, "Oi, boys! Get him!" The lounging men rose like a pack of wolves. Tattoos coiled up their arms, knuckles cracked like gunshots. Alex skidded to a halt. Oh no! He spun around, too late. They'd surrounded him. "Lost, pretty boy?" One sneered, stepping close. His breath smelled like cheap beer. Alex stammered, I'm a licensed private investigator. You should know. Assaulting me is a criminal offense." The thug shoved him against the wall, grinning with missing teeth. "Guess what? We don't care." Alex squeezed his eyes shut, bracing for impact. And then the thug froze, his face twisted in confusion. Slowly, his arms flailed upward. He clucked, loudly. Alex's eyes flew open. What's happening?" The thug dropped into a squat, flapping his arms like wings. The other gang members stared. Gabriel leaned against a dumpster, smirking. "You're welcome." Tactical possession. Alex gawked. You possessed him?" "Correct. Observe the poultry demonstration." The thug hopped in a circle, clucking with wild-eyed dedication. The others tried to grab him, but he pecked at them, making furious chicken noises. One panicked gang member yelled, "He's cursed!" and bolted. The others followed suit, scattering like pigeons at a fireworks show. Within seconds, only Alex, Gabriel, and the human chicken remained. Gabriel released him with a casual flick of his ghostly hand. The thug blinked, horrified, then screamed bloody murder and sprinted out of the alley. Alex stared at Gabriel. You humiliated him in front of his entire gang." Gabriel beamed. "Exactly. Tactical humiliation. No fists required." Alex dragged a hand down his face. You could have just made them run away, or scared them with ghost stuff. Instead, you made him chicken dance. It was effective and funny. Two birds with one possession. Gabriel said. That's not. Alex buried his face in his hands. Admit it, part of you laughed. Gabriel teased. Alex peeked between his fingers, cheeks pink. Maybe a very small part. That small part is why we're partners. Gabriel winked. The suspect, forgotten in the chaos, had tripped over a trash can and knocked himself out cold. Alex, still shaky, cuffed him with trembling hands. As they hauled him out of the alley, Alex muttered, "One day, your antics are going to get us both killed. And yet, you'd be dead already without me. Or at least concussed." Gabriel replied. Alex sighed. "Why do I feel like I should be charging hazard pay? Because you should. But hey, look on the bright side. No blood. No broken bones. And now that gang will think twice before messing with you." Gabriel floated backward through a lamppost, grinning. "They'll think I command chicken spirits," Alex muttered. "Even better. Fear is a powerful weapon. Detective Alex. The Cluckmaster." Gabriel laughed. "Stop. The Winged Avenger. Stop. The Poultry Prince." Alex groaned. "I hate you." But as he dragged the unconscious suspect toward the street, he couldn't stop the tiniest twitch of a smile. Back at the office, Alex slumped into his chair, exhausted. Gabriel flopped upside down on the ceiling like an obnoxious chandelier. "You're welcome again," the ghost said lazily. Alex gave him a long look. "I'll admit, it worked." Gabriel smirked. "So, as payment, new gossip. What's the latest detail about your mysterious crush?" Alex flushed crimson. "No, not after tonight. You already embarrassed me enough." Gabriel floated lower, grin wolfish. "Oh, come on. Fair trade. I saved your fragile mortal bones from being tenderized. Give me at least one crumb." Alex groaned into his hands. "He has nice hands. Okay? The kind you notice even when you shouldn't. Strong but gentle." Gabriel's smirk faltered for just a second, something unreadable flickering in his eyes. Then he grinned wider than ever. "Delicious. Worth every cluck." Alex muttered. "I'm never living this down." Gabriel stretched like a cat. "Correct." And despite himself, Alex laughed. Quiet, tired, but real. Chapter 4: The Underground Mafia Club. The lead had been clear. The stolen diamond ring had been funneled into the city's most dangerous place, an underground mafia-run nightclub known only as the Pit. Alex stared at the neon-lit entrance from across the street, tugging at his stiff collar. Bass thumped through the pavement. Dangerous-looking men stood at the door, tattoos peeking out from under black suits. "This is insane, completely insane. They'll smell fear on me. I reek of fear. I should have put on extra deodorant. Or body armor. Or both." Alex muttered, voice cracking. Gabriel hovered at his side, looking far too delighted. "Relax, detective. I'll be your coach. Think of me as your invisible mafia consultant." "Consultant? You died, didn't you? Doesn't that imply your consulting didn't exactly work out?" Alex whispered fiercely. "Technicality. Now listen carefully. Rule number 1 of bluffing like a criminal. Don't look scared." Gabriel said, brushing it off. Alex blinked. "That's literally all I can do." "Then we lean into it," Gabriel said. At the door, Alex tried to hand over his ID with trembling fingers. The bouncer looked him up and down, unimpressed. "This a joke? You don't look like our kind of guest." Before Alex could stammer out an apology, Gabriel swooped in, though of course only Alex could hear him. "Don't talk. Let me." Gabriel's voice dropped into a growl. "Tell him you don't need ID. Tell him you're here on business." Alex swallowed hard. I don't need ID. I'm here on business." To his shock, the bouncer actually paused, then stepped aside. "Go on in. Boss don't like delays." Alex stumbled forward, nearly tripping over the threshold. Oh God! Inside, the club was a den of smoke and shadow. Men with scarred faces played cards in the corner. Women in sequin dresses laughed too loud, and the air smelled of whiskey and danger. Alex instantly began sweating through his shirt. Smile less, you look like a tax accountant lost at a strip club. Scowl a little. No, less constipated. Better. Gabriel coached. Alex tried to scowl. He looked like a man fighting indigestion. Perfect, Gabriel lied. A hulking man with gold rings noticed Alex and swaggered over. Haven't seen you before. Who are you? Alex's brain blanked. I. Gabriel cut in smoothly, his ghostly voice low and confident. Say nothing. Just stare. Alex stared. The gangster frowned. What's your problem? Gabriel whispered quickly. Tell him you don't waste words on small fry. Alex gulped. I don't waste words on small fries. The man stiffened. Gabriel snorted. Not small fries, you idiot. Small fry. Singular. The gangster's eye twitched. For a tense moment, Alex thought he was about to get punched. Then, to his shock, the man backed off. Cold-blooded type. Huh? Fine. He walked away muttering, Boss'll want to see him. Alex exhaled so hard his lungs nearly collapsed. He believed me. Why would he believe me? Gabriel floated smugly beside him. Simple. You're sweating like a man who's killed before and regrets nothing. They think you're dangerous. I look like a damp towel. Alex hissed. A damp towel who murders people. Congratulations, you're terrifying. Soon, they were escorted to a back room where the mafia boss waited. A silver-haired man in an immaculate suit, sipping expensive brandy. So, you're the new killer I've been hearing about. The boss asked smoothly. Alex's jaw dropped. I killer. I'm not. Gabriel shouted in his ear. Yes, you are. Nod slowly. Say you've killed dozens. Alex, panicked, nodded like a bobblehead. Dozens. The boss raised an eyebrow. Dozens? Yes, dozens. At least. What kind of weapon? Gabriel supplied. Say, guitar wire. Alex squeaked. Guitar wires. Very effective. The boss's eyes gleamed with interest. Haven't heard of you before. What do they call you? Alex froze. His brain screamed. Gabriel grinned wickedly. Tell him. They call you the gentle butcher. Alex blurted. They call me the gentle butcher. Silence. Then the boss laughed. A deep, belly-shaking laugh. I like you. He clapped Alex on the back so hard he almost face-planted into the desk. Drink with me, butcher. I admire a man with subtlety. Alex sat, trying not to vomit from nerves. Gabriel lounged behind the boss, smirking like a cat that had tricked a dog into wearing a tutu. Eventually, they got the information they needed. The stolen diamond ring had been sold at an underground auction. As they left, Alex's legs shook so badly he almost collapsed outside the club. I nearly died. I almost told him my weapon of choice was butter knives. Gabriel doubled over laughing. You, the gentle butcher. Do you realize you're a legend now? Alex buried his face in his hands. I am never leaving the office again. Oh, you will. Because we are just getting started. And though Alex wanted to scream, part of him couldn't help but laugh too weak, nervous, but real. Chapter 5 Hooker Girls for Hire. Alex knew he had hit rock bottom the moment Gabriel plopped a sequin dress on his desk. No, absolutely not. There is no universe, no multiverse, no dimension where I, an officer of the law, put that thing on my body. Alex's voice cracked like a teenager's. Gabriel, floating lazily above the desk, twirled a feather boa around his ghostly shoulders. Oh, come on, Detective Killjoy. You want to infiltrate the black market or not? The auction is exclusive. No cops, no strangers. Only performers and ladies of the night. Alex turned red from the ears down. I can't believe you just said that with a straight face. Gabriel smirked. It helps that I'm dead. No blood circulation. He shoved the dress closer. It was hot pink, glittering, and far too short. Alex pushed it back like it was cursed. Why can't you do it? Because, sunshine, I don't exactly have a body anymore. But I can guide you, like a fairy godmother. Or in this case, a hooker godmother. Gabriel gestured. Alex buried his face in his hands. I swore an oath. And tonight you'll swear in heels. Gabriel interrupted. 30 minutes later, Alex stood in front of a cracked mirror in the office bathroom. The wig itched, the heels pinched. The fishnet stockings made his legs look uncomfortably good. This is the lowest point of my career, Alex muttered. Gabriel materialized behind him, giving a wolf whistle. Detective, if I still had a heart, it would have stopped. You're gorgeous. Shut up. Alex tried adjusting the neckline, which plunged far too low. Don't hide the goods. You'll never sell the part if you act like a nun in drag. Own it. Strut it. Channel your inner temptress. Alex gave a stiff shuffle. More hips. Less scared duck. More vixen. Gabriel cried. At the black market entrance, Alex wanted the ground to swallow him whole. Criminals in sharp suits eyed him up and down. He squeaked out a falsetto greeting. One guard smirked. Fresh meat, huh? Boss likes variety. Alex nearly bolted, but Gabriel hissed in his ear. Stay calm. Giggle. Wink. Pretend you're into it. Alex attempted a wink. It looked like he had something stuck in his eye. The guard frowned. You got a twitch? No. Alex squealed, then forced a laugh that sounded like a donkey choking. Miraculously, they waved him in. Inside, the auction buzzed with activity. Illegal weapons, rare jewels, stolen art, crates of mysterious contraband. Alex tried to blend in, perched awkwardly at the bar with a fruity cocktail. That's when trouble found him. A drunk criminal stumbled over, leering. Well, aren't you a pretty thing? Alex stiffened. I. Gabriel sang in his ear. Say something sultry. Tell him he looks dangerous. Alex whispered hoarsely. You look dangerous. The man grinned, leaning closer. You like danger, sweetheart? Alex's panic spiked. No. Yes. Maybe. The man reached for his thigh. Alex nearly shrieked. Gabriel, cackling, urged. Slap him. Slap him like a queen. Alex's hand shot out on instinct. Smack. The drunk reeled back, shocked, then burst into delighted laughter. Feisty. I like that. He tried to grab Alex again, but Alex scrambled off the bar stool so fast he almost face-planted. Meanwhile, Gabriel, floating invisible above the crowd, scanned the goods. Focus, detective. The ring's here. Left side, covered with a velvet cloth. We need to get closer. I'm a little busy being harassed. Alex hissed, ducking as another drunk tried to pinch him. Consider it immersion training. Don't worry, sweetheart. I'll save you. Gabriel snorted. Suddenly, the chandelier above rattled. The drunk suitor yelped as cold liquid poured from his drink, mysteriously floating through the air and dumping itself on his head. He screamed and stumbled away. Alex blinked, breathless. Did you just? Gabriel winked. Ghost perks. You're welcome. Finally, Alex staggered toward the auction stage, still clutching his too-short dress and trying not to trip over his own fishnet legs. On the velvet display stand, under a glaring spotlight, the diamond ring sparkled like the universe itself had decided to mock him. There it is, Alex whispered, sweat dripping down his temple. Yes, and you look like a dream while reaching for it. A very confused dream, but a dream nonetheless. Gabriel purred, floating lazily over his shoulder. Not the time, Alex hissed. A guard turned his head, suspicious. Alex panicked, grabbed a champagne tray off a passing waiter, and stumbled forward with what he hoped was seductive grace. What came out looked more like a giraffe learning ballet. Who wants bubbly? He squeaked in falsetto. The guard frowned, squinting at him. Gabriel leaned close, whispering wickedly. Say something flirty. Distract him. Alex froze. Your bone structure is very symmetrical? The guard blinked. Then, before he could raise the alarm, the overhead chandelier flickered violently and dropped 2 inches with a metallic groan. The entire room gasped. Gabriel smirked. In the chaos, Alex lunged forward, snatched the velvet box with the ring, and stuffed it into his fake cleavage. "Don't you dare comment," Alex snapped before Gabriel could open his mouth. "Oh, I wasn't going to. I was only going to say the box fits perfectly. Almost like it was made for," Gabriel said innocently. "Gabriel. Fine, fine. Run, detective." And run they did. Alex hiked up his dress, bolted past the panicking crowd, and dove through the nearest service door. Gabriel slammed it shut behind them with a ghostly shove, the sound echoing like thunder. They spilled out into the alley minutes later, Alex gasping, "Wig askew," clutching the stolen diamond ring like it was a life raft. I actually did it," he wheezed, staring at the ring. "You did, with a little spectral assistance, of course. But still, you were dazzling," Gabriel said, floating smugly at his side. Alex groaned, tugging off the itchy wig. "I can never show my face in this city again. Do you have any idea how many criminals tried to buy me?" Gabriel doubled over laughing, nearly transparent with glee. "Detective, I have not laughed this hard in years. You were magnificent." Alex shot him a glare. "Magnificent? I nearly died of humiliation." Gabriel floated closer, smirk softening into something gentler. "You survived. You adapted. And honestly, you were incredible out there. In your own, awkward, panic-sweaty way." For a moment, Alex blinked at him, chest tightening unexpectedly. Then Gabriel ruined it with, "Plus, your legs and fishnets could have toppled empires." "Gabriel!" The ghost howled with laughter, his voice echoing off the brick walls of the alley. Alex buried his face in his hands, groaning. And yet, somewhere deep inside, beneath the embarrassment, he was laughing too. Chapter 6: A Corpse with Clues. Detective Alex stood at the threshold of the dim apartment, notebook clutched so tightly in his hands it looked like he was about to strangle it. The smell hit first, metallic, sour, unmistakable. "Ugh," Alex muttered, lifting the edge of his sleeve to his nose. "Why is it always apartments with bad lighting? Why can't people die in, I don't know, bakeries? Somewhere with cinnamon rolls?" Gabriel drifted through the wall like a kid on a playground slide, grinning. "Because bakeries don't scream murder mystery the way dingy apartments do." Alex glared. Not helping. On the floor lay the victim, a man in his 40s, eyes wide open, blood pooled darkly beneath him. Alex swallowed hard. He edged forward, knees wobbling. Okay, I can do this. Professional. Objective. Just a body, just biology. Totally fine." He crouched, then yelped when Gabriel suddenly knelt right through the corpse. "Gabriel, what are you doing?" Alex stumbled back, nearly tripping over the coffee table. "Examining the evidence." Gabriel wiggled his translucent fingers inside the man's jacket pocket. "Relax, detective. It's not like he's going to complain." Alex pressed a hand to his forehead. "You're desecrating the scene." Gabriel raised an eyebrow. "Says the guy too scared to get within 3 feet of the body." "I'm not scared. I'm respectfully cautious." Alex muttered. "Sure. Respectfully cautious while sweating through your suit." Gabriel smirked. After several deep breaths, Alex forced himself to crouch again, eyes darting to anywhere but the face. "Okay. Cause of death looks like, knife wound to the chest. Judging by the, blood pattern." "Adorable, you mean stabbed in the heart." "Detective poetry at your service," Gabriel said. "Do you want me to write the report?" Alex snapped. "No. I want you to admit you'd rather be gossiping about your crush than touching this poor guy's pockets." Gabriel replied sweetly. Alex flushed. "This is a crime scene." "Exactly," Gabriel said, leaning closer to the corpse's wrist. "And this corpse is screaming clues louder than you scream in your sleep." Alex froze. "I don't scream in my—" "Wait. You watch me sleep?" "Focus. Look here," Gabriel sang, ignoring him. Reluctantly, Alex leaned closer. The victim's wrist bore faint red marks, almost hidden beneath the blood. "Tied up," Alex murmured, eyes narrowing. "Exactly. And Gabriel reached into the dead man's coat, producing a folded scrap of paper. This little gem. Alex took it gingerly, trying not to gag at the stains. Scrawled across it was a string of numbers. A code, Alex whispered. Or a phone number, but paired with our last case, the stolen diamond ring. It's starting to look like something bigger, Gabriel said, hovering smugly. Alex blinked. Wait, are you saying the diamond ring theft and this murder connected, one messy little conspiracy? Gabriel finished, his grin shark-like. Alex sat back on his heels, heart racing. But why would a stolen diamond ring link to? Shoo! Gabriel pressed a finger to Alex's lips. His finger went straight through, but Alex still spluttered, blushing furiously. Don't do that. Then don't ruin my reveal, think bigger. Stolen art, dead middleman, codes in pockets. Someone's laundering money. Smuggling. Maybe both. Gabriel teased. Alex scribbled furiously in his notebook, his panic at the corpse momentarily eclipsed by the thrill of discovery. Then the body twitched. Alex shrieked, flinging his notebook across the room. Gabriel howled with laughter. Relax. It's just air leaving the lungs. Happens all the time. Alex pressed himself against the wall. You could have warned me. And missed that reaction? Never. As the forensics team arrived to pack up the body, Alex retreated to the hallway, clutching his notebook like a lifeline. Gabriel floated beside him, humming cheerfully. So, detective, do I get my payment? Gabriel drawled. Alex blinked. Payment? You know the rules. You want my genius, you gotta give me gossip. Specifically about your mysterious crush. Alex groaned. Gabriel. Don't Gabriel me, Bill. Or I'll withhold my next deduction. Alex dragged a hand down his face. Fine. I like their laugh. It's ridiculous. Loud. Like it fills the whole room. Gabriel tilted his head, blinking in surprise. For once, his smirk faltered. Cute, he said softly, almost to himself. Then, quickly covering, he grinned. So, your crush has a nice laugh. Noted. Totally irrelevant detail. Definitely not useful for blackmail later. Alex flushed crimson. You're insufferable. And you would be lost without me, Gabriel said, floating backwards. Alex huffed, but couldn't quite argue. Because for the first time, it really felt like they weren't just solving one silly case after another. They were chasing something bigger. And that terrified him almost as much as it thrilled him. Chapter 7: Ghostly Jealousy. The office clock ticked loudly in the silence, the only other sound being the scratching of Alex's pen. He hunched over his desk, glasses slipping down his nose, as he reviewed the string of coded numbers they'd found on the dead man. 8 digits. Could be a bank account, Alex muttered, chewing his lip. Or a warehouse address, or maybe it's the number of times you've sighed thinking about your crush. Gabriel cut in, lounging upside down on the office ceiling. His hair dangled like he was a bat, and he wore an expression of pure mischief. Alex startled so badly he dropped his pen. I wasn't. What are you even? Gabriel, stop that. Stop what? Existing beautifully in your office while pointing out the truth? You've been all moony-eyed for days. I bet you're picturing them right now. What was it again? Their laugh? Their smile? Oh, what's the latest detail you're withholding from me? Detective Daydream. Alex went red instantly. I am not daydreaming. I'm analyzing evidence. Aha! Evidence of how smitten you are. Gabriel flipped upright, hovering down until he was nose to nose with Alex. Tell me, what's so fascinating about this mystery crush of yours? Alex shoved his chair back so fast it screeched against the floor. I don't have time for this. We have a case. A conspiracy. Murder. Serious business. Gabriel crossed his arms, eyes narrowing. Not until you tell me. Alex blinked. What? You heard me. No juicy gossip, no ghostly genius. That's the deal. Gabriel floated down into Alex's chair, phasing right through him in the process. Alex yelped, shivering at the cold. Gabriel! Rules are rules. So, what is it now? The way he tilt his head? The way he walk? Spill it. Gabriel spun lazily in the chair. Alex rubbed his temples. He knew he shouldn't, but Gabriel's relentless smirk chipped away at his willpower. Fine, I like the way he talk, Alex muttered. Gabriel perked up instantly. Talk? What, like their voice? Not just his voice, it's how he always sound confident. Like he owns the room. Even when he's being annoying. Alex said, flushing deeper. Gabriel froze. Just for a second, his grin slipped. Confident. Annoying. Owning the room. That was him. He quickly recovered. Wow. So your crush is a narcissist. Excellent taste, detective. He's not a narcissist, Alex protested, bristling. Oh, I bet he is. Does he also make you flustered? Does he invade your personal space? Does he, oh, I don't know, tease you constantly? Gabriel folded his arms. Alex's ears turned scarlet. That's. He broke off, sputtering, then buried his face in his hands. Gabriel floated back a little, his smugness wobbling into something more complicated. He hadn't expected Alex to say those things. About him. Well, technically about his mortal disguise, but still. It shouldn't matter. He should be thrilled. This was exactly what he wanted, wasn't it? Alex falling for him. So why did his chest feel tight? Well, Gabriel said, a little too quickly. Don't expect me to solve your silly little conspiracy tonight. Not until I hear more. Much more. I want details. Favorite food. Favorite outfit. Favorite. Gabriel. You're impossible. Alex groaned into his palms. Thank you, Gabriel said automatically. But his grin looked strained. The rest of the evening was a disaster. Every time Alex tried to talk about the case, Gabriel would interrupt. Alex, the numbers could correspond to. Gabriel, your crush's birthday? Alex, the warehouse logs show. Gabriel, that your crush shops there? Finally, Alex slammed his notebook shut. If you're not going to help, then just leave. The words echoed in the office. Gabriel flinched. For the first time, his smirk faltered completely. Fine, but don't say I didn't warn you when you drown in clues you can't solve alone. Gabriel said softly, fading toward the window. And with that, he phased out into the night. Alex sat back in his chair, guilt prickling under his skin. Why had he snapped like that? He hadn't meant it. Not really. But why did Gabriel look so hurt? Outside, Gabriel hovered in the alley, arms wrapped around himself. It was stupid. He was a ghost. He shouldn't care. But the image of Alex's flushed face, stammering over how much he liked his crush's voice, played over and over in his head. That crush was him. And Alex didn't know. Gabriel buried his face in his hands and groaned. I am so screwed. Chapter 8, The Casino Heist. The neon glow of the underground casino flickered like a heartbeat beneath the city. Alex adjusted his tie nervously as he stood outside the heavy steel door. A bouncer scanned him with a look that screamed, "You don't belong here." "Relax, you look fine," Gabriel whispered in his ear, invisible as always. "I look like I'm about to throw up?" Alex muttered, tugging at his collar. "That too," Gabriel said cheerfully. Alex swallowed hard and handed over the invitation card they'd borrowed from a suspect. The bouncer grunted, checked it, and finally opened the door. The room exploded with noise, laughter, shouts, the clinking of glasses, and the constant whirl of roulette wheels and dice. Red carpets soaked up cigarette smoke, and chandeliers glimmered with false grandeur. It smelled of money and danger. Alex froze just inside the door. This is a terrible idea. I'm not a gambler. I can't bluff. Don't worry, you have me. Gabriel purred. That doesn't reassure me. Gabriel ignored him and tugged him, shoved his shoulder invisibly, toward a roulette table. The evidence we need is somewhere in this casino. And the fastest way to get attention in a den of crooks is to win big. Alex's eyes widened. Wait, what do you mean win big? But Gabriel was already floating to the table, grinning like a cat in cream. The croupier spun the wheel. Alex, pale and sweating, placed a small stack of chips on red. Red. How daring. Let's make it interesting. Gabriel teased. The ball spun, clattered, and landed on black. See, Alex whispered, slumping. I told you. But then the ball shivered unnaturally, jumped 3 slots and rolled into red. Alex's mouth fell open. The dealer's eyebrows shot up. Red. Winner. A pile of chips was pushed his way. Alex stared. You cheated. Correction. I haunted. Relax. No one noticed. Gabriel smirked. The next round, Alex hesitated, then put chips on 23. He had no idea why. Gabriel leaned casually on the table, whistling. The ball zipped, slowed, then clattered right into 23. Winner again, the dealer said. The crowd murmured. By the 5th round, Alex was drenched in sweat, a mountain of chips before him. They're staring. They know. Gabriel preened. They think you're a prodigy, a gambling god. You're welcome. No, Gabriel, they think I'm cheating. Which I am, because of you. And isn't it fun? Alex buried his face in his hands. I'm going to die. As the stack of chips grew, so did the crowd. Men in tailored suits and women with golden chokers pressed close, whispering about the lucky newcomer. Finally, a man with a scar down his face approached. His voice was smooth, but his eyes sharp. Quite a streak you've got there. Alex nearly fell off his stool. I'm just lucky. Luck is dangerous in excess. The man said slowly. Gabriel leaned over his shoulder. Oh, scary. He's on to us. Shut up. Alex hissed under his breath. What was that? Scarface narrowed his eyes. I said, shut up and spin again. Alex's laugh came out like a dying goose. Gabriel groaned. Smooth, detective. Truly criminal. The dealer spun again. Gabriel smirked, flicked the ball midair, and landed another win for Alex. The crowd gasped. Scarface's smile vanished. Alex stood abruptly, clutching the chips like a lifeline. I think I've won enough for tonight. But the casino doors slammed shut with a heavy clang. Security guards moved in. Oh no, Alex whispered. Oh yes, it's heist time, Gabriel said, grinning. Chaos erupted. Gabriel knocked over chairs, whispered in guards' ears to make them hear phantom voices, and tipped dice cups so they spilled all over the floor. Alex stumbled through the mess, clutching his mountain of chips like a toddler with a teddy bear. Drop the chips, Gabriel yelled, swooping overhead. But they're evidence, Alex squeaked. They're not evidence. They're your funeral pyre. A guard lunged, grabbing Alex's sleeve. Gabriel, with a wicked grin, possessed the guard's arm and made him slap himself. Hard. The guard yelped, releasing Alex. What the? Gabriel cackled. Tactical humiliation part 2. Not now, Alex cried. They barreled toward the exit. Gabriel zipped ahead and yanked the fire alarm. Well, phased his hand through the wire until it screeched. Sprinklers erupted, drenching the gamblers, smearing makeup, and ruining fancy hair. Amid the chaos, Alex and Gabriel slipped out the back door into the alley, soaked, panting, and very much alive. Alex leaned against the brick wall, clutching his knees. That was insane. Gabriel hovered beside him, hair dripping ghost water he didn't actually have. He grinned. And thrilling. You nearly got me killed, Alex wheezed. And I nearly made you a millionaire. You're welcome, Alex groaned, dragging a hand down his face. You're the worst partner in the world. Gabriel tilted his head, eyes glinting. And yet, you still trust me. Alex froze, caught in that gaze for a beat too long. His heart thudded in his chest. He looked away quickly. I only trust you because I have no choice. Liar, Gabriel said softly, almost fondly. For once, Alex had no comeback. Chapter 9, The Stakeout from Hell. Alex had imagined many possible hells. Being buried alive, or even being forced to give a speech to a room full of strangers. But nothing, Absolutely nothing, compared to spending 8 hours in a parked sedan with Gabriel. The rain tapped on the windshield like impatient fingers, the street outside eerily empty. Their target, a suspected fence for stolen goods, lived across the street in a crumbling apartment block. Alex had parked in the shadows, notebook in hand, prepared for a long, silent watch. Gabriel, of course, had other plans. Stakeouts are the most boring invention in detective history. Whoever thought of them should be tried for crimes against humanity. Gabriel announced from the passenger seat, stretching like a cat. Alex pinched the bridge of his nose. You're a ghost. You don't even get leg cramps. I get soul cramps. Do you know how much effort it takes to sit still and not haunt pedestrians? A tragedy, Gabriel said, clutching his chest. Alex ignored him, scribbling notes. We're here to watch. Quietly. Not theatrically. Gabriel leaned over, phasing halfway through the seat so that his head nearly bumped Alex's shoulder. You know what would make this more fun? No. I didn't say anything yet. Still no. Gabriel pouted. You're no fun, detective. But maybe if you told me a little more about your crush. He lowered his voice suddenly, eyes gleaming. Alex stiffened, gripping his pen so tightly it squeaked against the page. Not this again. Oh yes, this again. We've got all night. And unless you want me to start serenading the entire block, you'd better give me something juicy. Gabriel grinned, teeth flashing in the dim light. You're blackmailing me with your own boredom? Exactly. Efficient, isn't it? Alex groaned. Why do I let you haunt me? Because you secretly adore me? Gabriel said sweetly. The first hour passed in agony. Gabriel tapped rhythms on the dashboard, narrated every shadow that passed like he was hosting a nature documentary, and even stuck his head through the roof to check for aerial threats. Still no movement, Alex murmured into his recorder. Correction, still no romantic movement. Come on, detective, spill it. Does he know you like him? Have you written secret poetry? Do you doodle his name in your case files with little hearts? Gabriel chirped. Alex went crimson. Absolutely not. Gabriel smirked. So, you doodle my name instead? Alex nearly choked on his own spit. What an oh. Why would I? Relax, I was joking, Gabriel said, eyes twinkling. He paused a beat. Unless. Alex covered his face with both hands. I hate you. No, you don't, Gabriel said smugly. By hour 3, Alex had given up on silence. Gabriel had taken to singing off-key versions of love songs, replacing the lyrics with embarrassing parodies of Alex's life. Detective Alex, sitting in his car, dreaming of his crush. Oh, how near. Oh, how far. Please stop, Alex begged. He wears a tie too tight, his heart in a knot, would confess his love, but courage he's not. Alex smacked the steering wheel. You're insufferable. Gabriel leaned back, satisfied. Yes, and yet you're smiling. Alex quickly rearranged his face into a scowl. No, I'm not. You are. Fine. Maybe a little. Gabriel looked strangely pleased at that, though he masked it with a smug shrug. At hour 5, Alex's stomach growled. Loudly, Gabriel tilted his head. Was that your stomach? Or is there a demon in the back seat? Alex sighed, rummaging in the glove compartment. He pulled out a crinkled bag of chips and a half-melted chocolate bar. Don't laugh. It's all I had time to grab. Gabriel leaned closer, eyes gleaming. Oh, snacks. You know, I can't technically eat them, but I can enjoy watching you. That's creepy. That's me. Reluctantly, Alex opened the bag of chips. Gabriel hovered at his side, chin in his hand like a child watching someone unwrap candy. Crunch louder, Gabriel teased. Alex shoved a chip in his mouth, glaring. Happy now? Gabriel grinned. Very. Then, without thinking, Alex broke a chip in half and held it up. Want to pretend share? Gabriel blinked. For a ghost, he suddenly looked very alive. He leaned forward, mimicking a bite, his lips brushing close to Alex's fingers though there was nothing to touch. Alex froze. For one strange, fleeting second it felt intimate, like a secret not meant to be spoken aloud. Gabriel leaned back quickly, clearing his throat. Delicious. Best air chip I've ever had. Alex coughed, looking out the window as if the rain was suddenly fascinating. His ears burned. The silence that followed was thick, but not uncomfortable. By dawn, the suspect finally stumbled home drunk and dropped a suspicious package by the dumpster. Evidence for tomorrow. Alex jotted notes, relieved. But Gabriel was watching him, softer than usual. Not bad, detective. You survived a night with me. Barely, Alex muttered. Barely, Gabriel echoed, smirking. Then quieter. But admit it. You didn't hate it. Alex hesitated, pen hovering above the page. He risked a glance at Gabriel, who was leaning in close, eyes brighter than the rising sun. Maybe not, Alex whispered. Gabriel's grin returned, wide and mischievous. Knew it. Chapter 10, Close to the Truth. Alex's office looked like a paper factory had exploded. Files covered every surface. Notes were taped across the walls, and the corkboard resembled a crime drama cliché with string zigzagging between photographs. Alex paced in front of it all, tie loosened, muttering to himself. The smuggling ring, the counterfeit money, the stolen art, all of it, connected. His finger traced a red string from one photo to another. And it all leads back to this one figure. Behind him, Gabriel floated upside down near the ceiling, arms folded. You look like one of those obsessive conspiracy theorists who thinks pigeons are government spies. Alex scowled. Do you ever take anything seriously? Do you? Your tie is crooked. Very suspicious. Gabriel shot back, grinning. Gabriel, this is serious. Look, Alex snapped. He pointed at the center photo pinned to the board. Gabriel drifted closer, peering. The photo was grainy, taken from security footage, just a shadowy figure entering a back alley. But the outline was clear enough to send a chill through Alex. This person, there at the center of every case. And I think it's him. Gabriel stilled, expression flickering. Him? Alex hesitated, color rising in his cheeks. My crush. Gabriel raised an eyebrow, though his voice was sharper than usual. Your crush? You mean that dashing gentleman you keep mooning over? Alex winced. I don't moon. You moon. You orbit. You're basically Saturn with a ring around him. Gabriel. Fine. So you think your precious mystery man is secretly some criminal mastermind. Isn't that just your luck? Gabriel floated down to sit cross-legged on the desk. Alex rubbed the back of his neck. It doesn't make sense. He's brilliant, elegant, respected. I can't believe he'd be involved in this. Gabriel's laugh was brittle. Oh, believe me, people are never what they seem. Alex turned sharply. What's that supposed to mean? Gabriel shrugged, trying for nonchalance. Nothing. Just a general ghostly observation. He snatched up one of the files, flipping through it upside down. Gabriel, this isn't a joke. Alex slammed his palms on the desk, making papers flutter. His eyes were wide, anxious. If I'm right, I've been crushing on a criminal this whole time. What does that say about me? That you have terrible taste, Gabriel said dryly. Alex groaned, dragging both hands through his hair. This is a disaster. Gabriel tilted his head, watching him unravel. Something softened in his expression. You admire him, huh? That's why you're so upset. Alex sank into his chair, staring at the photo on the corkboard. He's everything I'm not. Confident, brilliant, untouchable. And when I look at him, I feel like maybe I could be more too. His voice cracked, and he laughed nervously. Listen to me. I sound ridiculous. For once, Gabriel didn't mock him. He floated closer, his tone uncharacteristically gentle. You don't sound ridiculous. You sound human. Alex blinked up at him. What? Wanting someone you can't have. Believing in someone even when you shouldn't. That's the most human thing there is. Gabriel's smile was wry, but his eyes betrayed something deeper. Alex's suspicion sharpened. He studied Gabriel for a long moment. You sound like you know him. Gabriel froze. What makes you say that? The way you talk. The way you always push me to spill about him. Sometimes it's like you're jealous. Alex trailed off, brow furrowed. Gabriel barked a laugh, too loud. Me? Jealous? Of a man who isn't even here? Please, I'm gorgeous, charming, and already haunting you rent-free. What's he got that I don't? Alex opened his mouth, then closed it, flushing. That's not the point. No, it's exactly the point. Maybe you're not really falling for him. Maybe you're falling for the idea of him. Ever think of that, detective? Gabriel leaned in closer, grin sharp but eyes searching. Alex swallowed hard. The room suddenly felt too warm. I don't know what I'm falling for anymore. They stared at each other in charged silence, the only sound the rain against the window. Finally, Gabriel leaned back, forcing a chuckle. Well, if he does turn out to be the shadowy mastermind, at least you can say your taste in men is criminally good. Alex groaned. That's not funny. It's a little funny. Alex buried his face in his hands, muffling his voice. I'm doomed. Gabriel watched him quietly, expression unreadable. For the first time, he didn't make a joke. Instead, he whispered under his breath, almost too soft for Alex to hear. Yeah, so am I. Chapter 11, The Big Shootout. The warehouse smelled like rust and old oil, every creak of the metal rafters making Alex's nerves jump. His flashlight beam jittered across stacks of wooden crates, each stamped with strange symbols. Why are all criminal hideouts in creepy warehouses? Why not, I don't know, an ice cream shop? Or a library? Alex whispered, his voice cracking. Because ice cream doesn't scream illicit danger. Besides, warehouses echo. Very dramatic acoustics. Gabriel replied, drifting lazily through a steel support beam. Alex swallowed hard. I'm not here for acoustics. I'm here for evidence. Before Gabriel could retort, the warehouse lights blazed on. Ah, crap, Alex muttered. Dozens of gang members stepped out from behind the crates, armed with bats, chains, and Alex's stomach dropped, guns. A tall man in a leather jacket sneered. Detective Alex, right? You've been sniffing around too much. Alex tried to raise his badge, but his hand shook so violently he dropped it with a clatter. We can talk about this, right? No need for violence. The man cocked his gun. Talking's over. Alex's knees went weak. He ducked behind a crate as bullets ricocheted around him. Gabriel, do something. Gabriel, floating casually above the chaos, smirked. Oh, now you want my help? Yes, please. Unless you want me riddled with holes. Alex's voice cracked. Gabriel sighed dramatically, like he'd been asked to fetch groceries. Fine. Hold my ectoplasm. The temperature in the warehouse plummeted. The gangsters shivered, breath fogging in the air. Suddenly, the heavy steel doors slammed shut with a deafening clang. Lights flickered wildly, plunging the room in and out of darkness. What the hell? One thug shouted, dropping his weapon. From the rafters, chains swung as though an invisible force yanked them. Crates toppled over by themselves. A stack of rusty barrels rolled straight at the gang, scattering them like bowling pins. Cursed! This place is cursed! Another screamed. Gabriel chuckled, voice echoing unnaturally through the rafters. Foolish mortals! You dare trespass in my domain! Alex peeked from behind his crate, jaw-dropping. You sound like a movie villain. Shoo! You'll ruin the atmosphere, Gabriel whispered in his ear, then made a row of light bulbs explode with a crackling pop. The gang leader fired his gun at the shadows, yelling. But suddenly, his own weapon flew from his hand, spinning across the room. A dozen more guns lifted from their owners, floating in midair, barrels turning to point back at them. The gang collectively screamed. Run! Someone shouted. In seconds, the entire crew bolted for the exit, only to find the doors flew open on their own, flinging wide as if to say get out and don't come back. The gang tumbled into the night, shrieking about ghosts and curses. Silence fell. The only sound was Alex's pounding heart. Slowly, Gabriel floated down, smirking like a cat that had just knocked over every vase in the house. Well, that was fun. Alex staggered out from behind his crate, pale and shaking. Fun? I nearly died. That wasn't fun. That was… I don't even… He broke off, sinking onto a crate, burying his face in his hands. His breath trembled. Gabriel tilted his head, expression softening. Hey! Alex looked up, eyes wide. If you hadn't been here, I'd be dead. Dead? Gabriel. For once, Gabriel didn't joke. He floated closer, crouching down even though he didn't need to. Yeah, you probably would've. Alex swallowed, throat tight. You saved me. Gabriel smirked, but his voice was quieter. Of course I did. Can't let my favorite detective get perforated by low-life thugs. That was terrifying. And incredible. You? What are you? Alex's voice wavered between awe and disbelief. Gabriel grinned, a flash of teeth. I'm your ghostly partner in crime fighting. The one who makes you look way cooler than you really are. Alex laughed shakily, scrubbing a hand over his face. You're insufferable. Maybe, but admit it, you'd be bored without me. Besides, what's a detective without his haunting? Gabriel floated back, spreading his arms. Alex shook his head, a small smile breaking through his fear. A dead detective, apparently. Their eyes met, tension humming between them. Alex's gratitude, Gabriel's pride, something unspoken lingering in the space. Then Gabriel cleared his throat, breaking it with a grin. Now come on. Let's raid the crates before the cops get here. If there's contraband in here, I call dibs on anything shiny. Alex groaned, but stood up, his legs still trembling. I'm seriously starting to believe you were a criminal in life. Gabriel winked. Wouldn't you like to know? And as Alex followed him deeper into the warehouse, he realized one undeniable truth. He'd never make it through this case or life without Gabriel by his side. Chapter 12, The Betrayal. The office was a wreck. File drawers yanked open, papers scattered like fallen leaves. Alex crawling under his desk with his tie dragging on the dusty floor. He muttered furiously to himself as he pawed through folders. Where the hell is it? Come on, come on. Finally, his fingers brushed against a thin rectangle wedged behind the cabinet. He tugged it free, brushing off the dust. An ID badge. Alex's breath caught. The laminate was cracked, the black and white photo faded with age, but the face, God, the face was unmistakable. The sharp jawline, the mischievous tilt of the lips, the spark in the eyes he'd memorized long ago. His crush. His so-called mystery man. The man he'd babbled about to Gabriel during late stakeouts, cheeks flaming, while the ghost cackled and demanded details. And now the truth sat in his palm. Cold. Undeniable. His crush wasn't a stranger. His crush had always been Gabriel. Alex's stomach lurched. He staggered to his feet. Gabriel. The ghost slid through the office wall with his usual lazy flair, humming some half-forgotten tune. He didn't even notice the storm brewing in Alex's face. Detective, please tell me you've finally found that file you've been tearing the office apart for. I was going to start charging rent if you kept throwing things at me. Alex shoved the badge across the desk so hard it skidded against Gabriel's incorporeal hand. Explain. Gabriel looked down and froze. The smirk faltered. For once, his eyes didn't dance with mischief. They dimmed. Ah, Gabriel said softly. He rubbed the back of his neck, suddenly looking less like the smug ghost who always had a quip ready and more like a man caught sneaking home past curfew. So, you found me. Alex slammed both palms on the desk, the sound like a gunshot. Found you? Found you? My crush. The man I've been confiding in. Was you this whole time? Do you have any idea how humiliating this is? His voice cracked, raw. Gabriel flinched. Alex, you let me ramble like an idiot about how charming you were, how much I admired you, how much I… He broke off, throat tight, face burning. And you sat there, laughing, encouraging it. Gabriel floated closer, hands up in surrender. His voice wavered. I wasn't laughing at you, I swear. I just wanted to be close to you. His words faltered. For once, sarcasm abandoned him. Alex's chest heaved, fury and disbelief warring inside him. Close? By lying to me? The ghost's shoulders sagged. His voice dropped to something uncharacteristically fragile. Before I died, I lived another life. I had a name, a face, a pulse. People remembered me, wanted me around. And then suddenly, I was nothing but whispers and shadows. So I built a mask. That human form you liked, it was my mask. A way to feel alive again. And when I realized you had a crush on that version of me, I couldn't stop myself. I thought if I came to you as a ghost, maybe I could keep part of him alive. Maybe I could keep you close. Alex's hands curled into fists. So all this time, you weren't just mocking me. You were deceiving me. Gabriel's jaw clenched, but his voice cracked like thin glass. I didn't mean to hurt you, Alex. I was terrified. If you knew the truth, that your crush and the ghost haunting your office were one and the same, you'd hate me. And I couldn't stand that. Alex barked a bitter laugh. You're right about one thing. I don't know what I feel anymore. Humiliated? Betrayed? God. Gabriel, do you know what it's like to finally trust someone? To finally feel like you're not completely alone? Only to realize it was all smoke and mirrors. Each word landed like a blow. Gabriel didn't dodge them. He just stood there, smaller than Alex had ever seen him. I wanted to be enough, not as a ghost, not as a shadow, as the man I used to be. Gabriel whispered. For a heartbeat, Alex froze. His fury collided with something dangerously close to grief. His pulse thundered in his ears, but he shook his head violently. You don't get to spin this as romance. You should have told me from the start. Gabriel gave a broken half-smile. And if I had? Would you have let me stay? Alex opened his mouth, then closed it again. No words, just silence. The clock ticked on, cruel and steady. Finally, Alex collapsed into his chair, burying his face in his hands. His voice came out muffled, exhausted. I don't know if I can forgive you. Gabriel drifted back, retreating like the shadows he pretended he wasn't. His usual spark, his theatrical arrogance, it was gone. What lingered was raw and almost unbearably human. I'll give you time, he whispered. He paused at the wall, one last glance over his shoulder. His voice barely carried. But Alex, every laugh we shared, every ridiculous fight, every stupid late-night snack, that wasn't a lie. Not for me. And then he was gone. The office was quiet again. Too quiet. The ID badge stared up at Alex from the desk, proof of every truth and every lie. His crush, his partner, his ghost. And all Alex could feel was the hollow ache of betrayal. Chapter 13, The Separation. The office had never felt so hollow. No sarcastic ghost humming through the walls. No mocking comments about his blushing cheeks. Just the lonely creak of the fan and Alex's pen scratching furiously against paper. He muttered under his breath, I don't need him. I've solved things before. I'll solve them again. His voice cracked halfway through, and he jabbed the paper too hard, nearly tearing it. He quickly flipped the page as though that erased the slip. The case files sprawled across the desk told a story, though not a simple one. At first glance, burglaries escalating into assaults, money disappearing into shell companies, names crossing over and over. But as Alex dug deeper, a disturbing pattern formed. A familiar one. Gabriel Denmark. The name stared back at him from forged signatures, coded letters, and witness statements. Alex slammed his notebook shut. Unbelievable. Even dead, even lying about everything, he's still everywhere. He shoved the files away, but curiosity gnawed at him. He reopened one folder, tracing the signature carefully. His hands shook. This isn't his handwriting. It's too perfect, too deliberate. Someone copied it. He spread out the other documents. He's not connected to the crimes. He's being used. Someone wants his name on everything. But why? Why Gabriel? The answer came like ice water down his spine. Because Gabriel had tried to expose them in life. Alex's throat tightened. Someone's tying him into the crimes to bury his reputation forever. He flipped another file open. Photos of the last crime scene. A gutted office. Blood spattered across the wall. And there, scrawled in crimson paint like some morbid joke, was Gabriel's old insignia. Alex whispered, "Someone's mocking him. Mocking me." A sound startled him. The office phone rang, loud and shrill in the silence. He froze, staring at it. His pulse quickened. He knew answering was a mistake, but his hand moved anyway. "Hi, detective." A voice slid through the receiver, smooth and sharp as broken glass. "Detective, how quaint of you to play hero alone." Alex's stomach turned. "Who is this?" "I am the one cleaning up the mess Gabriel Denmark left behind. The burglaries, the money, the trails." He stuck his nose where it didn't belong in life. "And now you're making the same mistake. And not to forget, you make me lost the painting and the diamond ring." Alex gritted his teeth. "So you're the one forging his name. You're the mastermind." A low chuckle. "Mastermind. I do like that. Let's call me Black. Gabriel called me that once, before he failed to bring me down." The blood drained from Alex's face. "You killed him. And soon, detective, I'll erase you too. But not yet. No, you're far too entertaining." Click. The line went dead. Alex slammed the phone down, heart hammering. He grabbed his coat and gun. "I'll prove I don't need him. I'll end this myself." The trail led him to an abandoned shipping yard. The air reeked of rust and salt water. Floodlights flickered overhead, shadows stretching like claws across the cracked pavement. Alex's flashlight cut a shaky path through the gloom as he moved between the crates. His voice shook as he muttered, "It's fine. I'm fine. Just a few criminals in the dark, nothing unusual. I've got this." The sound of footsteps echoed. Then another set. Then many. Alex spun. A circle of men in black suits emerged from the shadows, surrounding him. One smirked. "Detective. Brave little mouse. Sniffing around the lion's den." Alex forced his voice steady. "You're connected to Black." "Connected? We work for him." The thug chuckled darkly. Alex's mouth went dry. He gripped his gun, but a hand shot out from behind, wrenching it away before he could fire. Another man slammed him into a crate, knocking the wind from his lungs. "You think this is funny, detective? You should have stayed in your haunted office." A sharp crack against his head. White pain burst across Alex's vision. He crumpled, hearing only muffled voices as consciousness slipped. Black wants him alive. Darkness swallowed him whole. Back at the office, the silence was suffocating. Gabriel drifted in, his form flickering faintly. He looked at the empty desk, the scattered papers, the corkboard with his name circled again and again. He touched the papers gently, as if they might burn. His voice cracked. "Alex, you idiot. So you walked into the lion's den without me. Wait for me." Then he vanished into the thin air. Chapter 14, Rescue and Revelation. The ropes bit into Alex's wrists, coarse and unyielding. His chair wobbled every time he struggled, but the knot only dug tighter. The warehouse stank of oil and mildew, shadows flickering from a single hanging bulb. Across from him stood the mastermind they'd been chasing all along. Mr. Black, the shadowy figure tying together every crime, every lead. His sharp suit was spotless, his smile colder than steel. "You've been a very irritating little detective, following crumbs you didn't even know were laid for you. Honestly, I should thank you. You brought me everything I needed." Black drawled, pacing. Alex's mouth was dry. His heart pounded. "You're not going to get away with this." Black raised an eyebrow. "And who will stop me?" "You." Gabriel was already there. Invisible, seething, pressed against the shadows like a storm ready to break. His fists clenched, ghostly form vibrating with barely contained rage. He'd never felt this kind of fear. Not when he died, not when he realized he was a ghost, not even when Alex almost gave up on him. But seeing Alex bound, threatened, trembling, unforgivable, Black raised a gun, polished and cold. He aimed it casually at Alex's chest. Any last words, detective? Alex shut his eyes. His breath came fast, ragged. Gabriel, please. And then the lights exploded. Bang! Glass rained from the ceiling as every bulb shattered at once. The air dropped 20 degrees, a howling wind surging through the warehouse though the doors were shut. The gun flew from Black's hand, clattering across the floor. From the shadows, a voice boomed, layered and echoing, rattling the crates. You dare threaten what is mine? Black staggered back, pale. What the hell? And then Gabriel appeared. Not his usual smug, translucent self, but blazing white, eyes like fire, cloak of shadow and light swirling around him. His very presence shook the walls. Alex gasped. Gabriel! Stay calm, Alex. I've got you. Gabriel said, voice still reverberating like a chorus of thunder. Chaos erupted. Black's henchmen burst in, but every step they took was met with flying crates, doors slamming in their faces, metal pipes twisting out of reach. One thug swung a crowbar. Gabriel flicked a hand, and the man went skidding backward as though yanked by invisible chains. Another tried to shoot. The bullet froze mid-air, spinning before dropping harmlessly to the floor. Gabriel's power poured out unchecked, filling every inch of the warehouse. For once, he wasn't joking, wasn't lazy, wasn't bargaining for gossip. He was fury itself. Touch him, and your souls are mine. Gabriel roared. The henchmen bolted, tripping over each other in their scramble to escape. Black, however, stood frozen, trembling but defiant. You can't stop me, you're already dead. Black spat. Gabriel's form surged brighter, and with a scream that shook the rafters, he sent Black flying across the floor, pinned by unseen force. Dead, but not powerless. Gabriel snarled. The fight ended almost as quickly as it began. The warehouse lay in ruins, crates shattered, windows blown out, debris littering the ground. Black was unconscious, his empire finished. But Gabriel, he wavered. His form flickered, like a candle flame guttering. He dropped to one knee, clutching his chest though he had no heartbeat. Alex's ropes had come loose in the chaos. He scrambled forward, skidding to his knees beside Gabriel. Hey, stay with me. Gabriel looked up, grin faint and shaky. Pretty cool, huh? Bet you didn't know I had that in me. Don't you dare joke right now. Alex's voice cracked. He grabbed Gabriel's flickering hands, trying desperately to hold onto something intangible. You're fading. Gabriel's glow dimmed further. Guess I burned a little too bright. Wouldn't be the first time. His smirk wobbled. Stop it, don't you dare. Don't you dare leave me. Alex whispered, tears streaming freely now. Gabriel blinked, stunned. Alex never cried, not like this. Alex's grip tightened, useless and desperate. I don't care if you lied. I don't care if you're a ghost. I don't care about any of it. I can't lose you. His voice broke. The words hung heavy, louder than the storm outside, heavier than the rubble around them. Gabriel's form flickered again, but this time, instead of fading, it steadied. A faint warmth seeped into Alex's palms. You mean that? Gabriel whispered, voice trembling now. Not from exhaustion, but emotion. Alex met his eyes, red and wet. I mean it, you idiot. I'm terrified all the time, but I'm more terrified of a world without you in it. For once, Gabriel had no quip, no snark, no bargain. Just a look, raw, awed, like someone who hadn't been loved in life, finally hearing it in death. Alex, he breathed, and then Gabriel collapsed forward, into Alex's arms. Alex held him tightly, rocking him, whispering fiercely, Don't you dare leave me. Not now. Not ever. And in the silence that followed, with the villain defeated and the storm easing outside, Gabriel's glow flickered back to life, soft, fragile, but alive. For Alex, it was enough. Chapter 15, A Love That Defies Death. The office was quiet. Too quiet. The kind of silence that makes the hum of the fridge sound like thunder. The kind of stillness that presses down until breathing feels too loud. Alex sat at his battered desk, staring at the messy stack of case files. The conspiracy was over. Black was gone. The gangs scattered. The city a little safer. But instead of triumph, all Alex felt was exhaustion. And the heavy weight of the ghost floating behind him. Gabriel hovered lazily near the ceiling, upside down as usual, arms folded across his chest like he was pretending to nap. His glow was softer now, steadier than it had been since the fight. But Alex noticed the faint flicker at his edges, like candlelight. For once, Gabriel didn't talk, didn't tease, didn't demand gossip. He just waited. Alex rubbed his face. "You're really annoying, you know that?" Gabriel cracked an eye open. "Annoying? Me? I'm charming, beloved, irresistible." Alex shot him a look. "You lied to me." Gabriel sighed and floated upright, drifting down until he was eye level. "Yeah, I did." The silence stretched again, broken only by the tick of the clock. Alex's throat felt tight. His heart was louder than his thoughts. "I'm still angry," Alex muttered finally. "You pretended to be someone you weren't. You let me—" He trailed off, cheeks burning. "You let me fall for you." Gabriel's smirk faltered. "I didn't mean to. Not at first. But then it was you. How could I not?" His voice softened, almost human. Alex's breath hitched. He wanted to yell, wanted to walk out, wanted to demand a normal life with normal love. But instead, he whispered, "I'm also scared." Gabriel leaned closer, curiosity shining in his spectral eyes. "Of me?" Alex shook his head violently. "Of me. Of what this means. Of how stupid it sounds. Who falls in love with a ghost?" There was a beat of silence. Then Gabriel grinned crookedly. "Apparently you." Despite himself, Alex barked out a laugh, cracked halfway, nervous and messy. "God, you're impossible." But you like me impossible," Gabriel teased, though his voice trembled beneath the joke. Alex stood abruptly, fists clenched at his sides. He turned, facing Gabriel square on, heart pounding so hard he thought it might burst through his ribs. "Fine," Alex blurted. "You want the truth? Here it is. I'm angry. I'm scared. But none of it matters because I—" His voice cracked. He swallowed hard, then forced it out. "I'm in love with you." Gabriel froze, for once absolutely speechless. His mouth opened, shut, opened again like a goldfish. Then he began to take his human form, the very form that Alex had fallen in love with. Then he spoke. "Alex." Alex's face was crimson. "There. I said it. Go ahead. Make fun of me. Tell me I'm ridiculous." But Gabriel didn't. Instead, "Ridiculous? Maybe. But so am I," Gabriel whispered. And then, without asking, without planning, Gabriel leaned in. Their lips met, one warm and trembling, the other cold but felt and real, not invincible. The kiss was awkward, clumsy, half there and half not, but Alex clung like it was the only real thing in the world. Gabriel shivered, eyes fluttering shut. "You're actually kissing a ghost," he murmured against Alex's mouth, incredulous. "And you're enjoying it." Alex shot back breathlessly. Gabriel laughed, a bright, giddy sound that filled the room. Alex laughed too, half from nerves, half because the whole thing was so absurd. A detective and a dead man, kissing in a rundown office. What a joke. But it was their joke. Gabriel pressed his forehead against Alex's, flickering faintly but steady in his arms. "You know this can't be normal. We won't be able to be normal. But I'll stay like this. Forever." Alex squeezed his eyes shut. "I don't want to be normal. I'd rather have you like this than not at all." His voice broke, raw and honest. For a long moment, Gabriel just stared at him, eyes wide, as though Alex had just handed him the entire universe. Then Gabriel smiled, soft and a little wobbly. "You're an idiot." "Yeah, you're idiot," Alex said. They laughed again, both of them shaking, tears and joy all mixed together. The silence returned, but this time it was warm. Gabriel floated just enough to rest a ghostly hand over Alex's heart. "Partners," Alex covered it with his own trembling hand, steady and sure. "Partners, always," he said. His voice was firm now, steady despite the tears.